with CRE?
So we're the authorized agent.
What do you mean authorized agent? Are you an employee or an attorney? Where are you?
I think he just went away. He just disappeared, like we lost his connection.
Okay. Well, let's give him a minute or two to come back. I'll tell you what, while we're waiting, why don't we do the untimely applications? Amanda, you're available? Let's get you sworn in. That's all right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and position with the county, please.
Amanda Markle, Deputy Assessor over individual personal property, business property, and land records.
Okay, what do you have for us? These are items 4 through 8.
Okay, so items 4 through 8 are applications for exemption or exclusion. They are for different types of exemption or exclusion. They meet all of the criteria for their prospective application, with the exception of an untimely application. The applications were submitted within the calendar year that they're applying for, but they were just submitted after the initial deadline.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Then I will entertain a motion regarding items 4 through 8.
I'll move that we accept items 4 through 8 as timely.
Jeanette?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right. They passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess we're still waiting for Cree to come back.
Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. It crashed on me there.
Okay, there you are. So you are comfortable using the Zoom format, correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
And you say you are, what's your position again with Cree?
So we're Ducharme McMillan and Associates. So we represent them in their personal property tax filings.
So you're a tax consultant?
Yeah.
Well, we need to have either an employee of Cree or an attorney to represent them rather than just a tax consultant.
Okay.
So, you can be here and present the case, but we need to have somebody with that standing before we can hear a case.
Okay. So can we reschedule or?
Right. I would like to entertain a motion that we continue this case until we have a representative that's allowed to proceed with this case. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, Mr. Puckett, you'll have to reschedule you. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next we have, how do you pronounce, I'm gonna let you pronounce this one, Andrea, if you can.
Agilitas, DBA Physiotherapy.
Okay. Do we have somebody here from them?
I don't think so, and we weren't able to confirm if someone was going to attend.
Okay. All right. Well, then if you'll proceed with this one, then please.
Okay. The taxpayer is requesting abatement of the late listing penalties for tax years 2016 through 2017. They listed in 2018 leasehold improvements that were not included on their 2016 and 2017 listings. They were notified that we were going to discover those assets and issue a bill, and that's what the county did. So the abatement they're requesting is for $1,061.14 for the penalties for those 2 years. Staff recommends that the total penalties remain on the account per receipts for North Carolina General Statute 105-312H.
Did they give any explanation about why they didn't list?
They had a new accountant. They initially listed late in general. They were new, weren't aware of the process, was not aware of what they needed to list. This was our senior accountant's first experience with property tax in North Carolina. and did not realize that leasehold improvements were included. We have corrected this going forward, and they have listed appropriately as far as we can tell, but definitely timely ever since.
Do you know if they're a large company?
Um,
Or are they, or is this like their only facility? Or are they large
They
enough?
only have one location in Durham that I'm aware of under this name.
All right. And you have not heard anything from them?
Other than they're not wanting to be punished again for this bill. So they paid everything except the penalty.
Okay. All right. Any discussion from the board?
So it's 16, 17, and 18, or just 16 and 18?
Just 16 and 17.
Oh, 16 and 17.
I'm sorry, 16, 17, 18. Yes.
I'm really not inclined to grant it since they didn't show up.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you, David. It's upon them to prove their case, and if they don't show up, then
Right. Okay, then I'll entertain a motion regarding number 2.
I move that we uphold the county position.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then we will go along with the county. All right, let's move on to item number 3, Bodega. I see Yvette. I see your first name anyway. I guess that's you all. I need to get you sworn in first of all. So if you will raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Are you comfortable using this Zoom format for your appeal?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. And what's your association with Bodega?
I'm the owner and Paul is my accountant and also part owner.
Okay. All right. We'll go to the county and then we'll come back to you. And she was sworn in earlier. That's why I'm not swearing her in. Okay. All right. So Ms. Williams, what do you have for us on this one?
The taxpayer is asking for an appeal of penalties associated with listings for 2017 through current. Prior to this month, prior to March, they had not listed at all. The total penalties for the prior year's due is $3,688.67. The estimated penalty for the 2022 tax year is $386.62. Staff recommends that the penalty remains on this receipts as the taxpayer failed to timely list their business personal property with Durham County Administration for the tax years of 2016 through 2022.
And how did you discover this? By just discovery going through?
No, they actually came forward. They're in the middle of a sale and the new owner let them know that they needed to list and they were trying to get this squared away before the sale is complete.
So they came forward on their own.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bodega, I don't see your last names on there. So if you all let us know why you didn't list.
Sure. So this was a second career for me. I retired nurse and decided to open a little small grocery store in downtown Durham because there wasn't one. So I opened the store. I've done everything I thought I needed to do, and I had absolutely no clue about the property tax. So I've been going year after year, totally oblivious about that there was even a personal property tax to be paid. And I learned about it when we started to go through the sale, and they said, "You haven't filed." And I said, "Filed what?" We've never gotten anything in the mail. We've never, and I'm not saying we should have, but I was totally ignorant. So when we found out that this did exist, Paul right away met with Melissa and, got it straight. We have paid the penalty. We've paid everything. And I don't know if ignorance is a good defense, but I thought it couldn't hurt to just explain why we didn't pay. I've paid everything, even my alcohol application to the government. We've paid everything, but we truly did not know this even existed.
Yeah, and I started with the company a few years ago, and it was just something that it wasn't on the radar. And which predated to when the store originally opened. And we would have paid it timely. And you can see from your
Absolutely.
records, we paid the tax plus the penalties even before this hearing. But we are asking for forgiveness on the penalty portion of it.
The other part is we have actually over $100,000 in debt to pay off due to One City Center giving us rent abatement. And they gave, through the pandemic, they gave us several months of no rent to be paid back. We've had, just the pandemic really threw us into a spin. And, we have little left through this sale. And this sale is actually, I don't know how much longer I can go in this environment with, the workers are still not back in downtown. We're still operating at a loss.
Yeah, we rely on the foot traffic
And
in
that's not
downtown
been
Durham,
here.
and it's just been non-existent and to be honest, this is part of the reason why
We're
we
selling.
had to sell was the sales haven't recovered.
So any little bit that we can get through the sale to distribute to, I have my kids as part owners and my accountant. So, we will split whatever we end up with. So that's it.
I'm sorry to hear all that. And you all just moved, and I'm sure you had a lot of expenses when you just moved too. So,
Yeah.
okay. All right. What's the board's feeling about this?
Mr. Smith, if I could just be clear for a moment.
Yes.
So there's two parts to this. As the taxpayer says, they have paid all of the penalty for everything that we could bill them for the prior years. And that penalty was $3,688.67. But because they paid that penalty, at this point, there's nothing to compromise. And the estimated penalty for 22 would be $386.62.
So does that mean we can't do anything about the prior penalties? Is that what you're saying?
There's nothing to compromise because unfortunately they paid it.
Wow. That's kind of
So
unfortunate.
there's no way to get a refund, or
As I understand, they can go to the county commissioners, correct? I just had that training the other day, so I think that's what they. Starling, do you know?
you're saying we would have been better off if we didn't pay it before this hearing?
Yeah, sounds like it.
That's unfortunate. We're trying to be good citizens.
Yeah.
But Starling, can they go to the county commissioners for this?
Now that I do not know. I wasn't in that training the other day. Unfortunately, I was gone. And what we can do is we can do the research and contact them as to that part of it, or we can get the information to them.
Okay.
We can do that. I cannot speak on that. I did not make that training. I was going to one tomorrow, unfortunately.
Well, I thought that's what they said. But since Andrew, we're only really talking about the 2020, the $300 penalty. Is that all we're talking about here?
Right. Per the statutes, we can only do refunds in 3 circumstances, and this doesn't fall under one of those. I don't know what the commissioners can do. But so yeah, at this point, the $3,000 is not compromisable, but the $386.62 is.
And that's for 2022?
That is the estimated penalty for 22. We won't know until the commissioner set the tax rate, what the actual penalty will be. We have your value, but we don't know what the actual tax will be until the tax rate is set.
But why would we have a penalty on 2022 if the bill's not out yet?
Because you didn't list by January 31st.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. What's the pleasure of the board? They look like they made every effort to pay once they found out.
Well, I think that, so the only thing that we have jurisdiction over is the 386, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I move that we waive it.
I agree. Are you all right with that, Jeanette?
I am.
Okay. All right. Then I'll entertain a motion regarding this property then, this penalty.
And is there some information I'm gathering that we might be able to get some of the past back?
Yeah,
If there's any guidance.
We'll get to that in a minute. Let us finish our motion. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So we waived what we could. Yes, Starling, will you have somebody get in touch with them and let them know if they can appeal it and how they can appeal it?
Yes, sir. I'll be attending that training tomorrow.
Yeah, ask that question. Right?
Yeah, it unfortunately it was the 7th for the next one. So
Right.
yeah, this
Okay.
was in between. Yeah.
All right, good. Well, we're sorry to see you all go. I guess that the Bodega will still be here, just under different ownership.
Yeah.
Yes.
In about 3 or 4 months, they're going to switch it over to Asabi Provisions, which is a big franchise down in Atlanta. So,
It's certainly nice to have, a grocery store in downtown. And
yeah.
I'm glad that you all took
Thank
the
you.
step, and sorry that you didn't work out for you.
All right. And do you need, I guess you've got the email to send info to?
Yeah.
And
who's
you have
that
the email for them, the contact information? She does. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else? I don't see anything else on the agenda. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Starling?
No, not right now. And we don't have any cases set up, but we sent out notices week before last and we started getting, I think we've got a few appeals in. I think the total we had was last time prior to this, our last meeting, I think we had 18 appeals for real property. So we'll be probably getting some in maybe through the course of this week or so. So we'll get back with you and set up once we determine we've got enough appeals to have an appeal, a hearing, we'll get back with you and start setting up the date for that.
And the adjournment date is, would you say May something?
May the 11th.
And so people have until then to file their appeals, correct?
Yes, unless we send them a change of value notice or it is their first bill in personal property, because the personal property bill is the notice of your value. So anybody that gets a change of value from us or a personal property bill, then they have 30 days following the date of that letter to file their appeal.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, everybody. And I guess we'll see you the next time you have something scheduled for us.
Yes, and Sonia, of course, will be contacting you all in a timely manner to let you know that we've got some things, and we'll ask you all about it. We'll ask you all, is it okay for this day or that date or whatever? Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Sonia.
Okay, the other thing, are we still on everyone is, Wednesday is good with everyone? Is that still the date that everyone would like?
That's a good day of the week for me, yeah.
That works.
Okay. Okay, all right then. So they'll be on Wednesdays.
Okay, see y'all next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Bye.